Hi, this is the evaluation of the order trading system for January the 29th, 2021, with three trades on that day. All were short sells. First trade was AEZS, ZS, Aster, Aterna Zentaris. That's a hard word to say. It tripped at 12:40:25 p.m. at a price of 67 cents, and yes, it was a short sell. It closed the day at 68.62 and was down 5.75%, but it did close above its tripping price. 12:45, 12:45. Okay, roughly around here. 66 up, 69, 66, 69. It came up back up again and never came down. The lowest it was after that rise was actually back to 67 cents. But 1250 to 150 was a good 25 minutes here where it was below the trading price, which to me is more than enough time to indicate or to attempt to get out of the stock. On short sells, you pretty much want to try to get out on the day that it was tripped because there's additional costs with short sell with interest for basically loan of the stocks. Because you don't own the stocks, you're basically getting a loan of stocks when you trade them, and there's interest cost on that. So keeping a short sell for too long could rise up to quite a bit of a cost for the loan of that stock. So it's probably the best thing for a short sell to get out on that day. And if you have an opportunity to get out, and especially if you don't see the stock moving in any specific direction after you tripped it, you can see that it tripped down here at 12:45 after it dropped, moved sideways. And that sideways movement should give you the understanding that there's potential there. But yeah, going down, but it can probably go up as easily as it went down, which is what happened here, which meant that you should get out when it was moving sideways, which it was, and it did drop below the tripping price. So there was opportunity. Next trade is KO, the Coca-Cola Company. It tripped at 48.24, closed at 48.15. That's another short sell positive. And I'm sorry, I didn't look at the indicators for the first one. OPV showing pretty much going down. MACD that actually showed, yeah, came down, and you can see that rise that it had right after it tripped. So it dropped down here and then it rised and it came down a bit, but not down to the point where it was going below the tripping price. DI half and half, and Bollinger Band's actually showing you it was coming down. It came down and had that recovery bit, and then in the afternoon it moved basically sideways, Bollinger Band wise. So that was the first stock. So the second stock that we're looking at now, 245. These stocks are at the end of the day, and I don't myself like stocks at the end of the day. They're very, very limited amount of time, obviously, to trade on. OBB is moving sideways. You see, the day is coming down. MACD from the early afternoon, which is when I started recording, it jumped up a bit and then dropped, which is where you caught it. So this trip actually caught it as it was dropping, basically reversing its rise in the early afternoon. MACD about half and half. And Bollinger Band, yeah, it's showing a little steady incline and then that drop at the end of the day. So it just happened to be that you happened to caught it at the end of the day dropping. Next trade is Dominion Energy. It tripped at 3:45:14 p.m. at a price of 72.83, and it was also a short sell. It closed the day at 72.89. It was up 0.3.05%, 0.30%, so it did recover. Look, yeah, see, it came down, recovered, and didn't. But the only way you can do these type of trades, if it looks like it's going to be performing such a thing. This stock here was moving down. I just happen to be at the end of the day to recover. That's why I really don't like these stocks because there's just no time, for the stock to move around a bit to see if it actually moves in the direction you're moving in. Take a look at the indicators to see if that potentially can indicate a possible. OBB looks good. OBB is basically down. MACD, we can see that recovery. It was going upwards pretty much from early afternoon to mid afternoon, and then dropped. Was dropping. This is where it tripped. A little bit of bump up in the afternoon. DI, Bollinger Band. OBV MACD show fairly good negative. DI is basically as much negative as it is positive. And Bollinger Bands, it's pretty much showing positive. I can't say this is a positive just because the indicator is not giving me the feeling that there's such a good potential of recovering day after. So that gives us 2 out of 3 stocks. So that's technically 66%, which again is what it is. And the same thing with possible because there's no possible trades. Not a terrible, terrible day. The day itself, as you can see, because we still have the main indicators across the board. All the indicators that Yahoo is actually showing, market indicators, is across the board negative, very heavily negative. The Dow and the Nasdaq, which are the two main ones. S&P also is a big one. And they're all showing that stocks were moving very negative. That might have been because of that issue with Reddit, I think it was, that people, which is kind of strange, people trying to, do a little bit of stuff themselves to make sure, something goes a certain way, and that bothers, the financial people to the point where it causes them to react negatively. This almost seems like this is a payback kind of thing going on here. But anyways, in general, I think it's a fairly decent day, and there's enough opportunity, I think, that would happen on that day. So overall, not a bad day, not a fantastic day, but not a bad day. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.